Hi guys, welcome back to the home and homestead. My name is Rebecca, and today in the homestead we're going to be making some homemade dog treats. These are great gift ideas and just anytime treats that you can make for your furry friends. So today we'll be making 3 styles of dog treats. We'll be making cookies, biscuits, and twists. So follow along and see how we make these easy homemade dog treats that you can share with your furry friends and family. So the first recipe that we're going to make today for our homemade dog treats is going to be the peanut butter and apple dog cookies. So these are a smaller type of treat. We like to use these for just a quick reward. They're great for training as well as for when you come inside from going potty outside. It's a nice little treat to give to your dog. So first what we're going to do is in this bowl we will add 1 1/4 cup of oat flour. Or basically what you can do is take old-fashioned or rolled oats and put them in a little food processor and pulse it up until it's a coarse type of flour consistency. And to this we will add 1 1/4 cup of wheat flour. Now if you have a pet that has allergies to wheat or certain sensitivities, just use the flour that works well for your pet's dietary restriction. Next we will add 2 beaten eggs, a 1/2 cup of applesauce, and a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, creamy style peanut butter, and make sure that there's no xylitol in it, which is an artificial sweetener. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of baking powder. Now we'll mix this all together. You can mix this by hand. I'll be using my Danish whisk here. You can also mix this in the KitchenAid stand mixer. The flex edge attachment for that works really well for batters and things like this. So what we'll do is put it onto a floured surface. And we'll roll it out to the desired thickness. I'm going to be doing about a 1/4 inch thick. It's a nice coarse dough, but it has some moisture to it, so you may need to add some flour in order to be able to roll it out nicely. Alright, so we have this rolled out to about a 1/4 inch thickness. Now you can use any size or shape cookie cutter that you want to do. I'm doing, like I said, a smaller cookie type of dog treat, so I'm using one of the miniature dog bone cookie cutters that I have from a set. I can include this in the description box below. So now what we'll do is we'll just cut the shapes and put them onto a cookie sheet. Preferably the cookie sheet will be non-stick or put a little parchment paper onto it. This set of cookie cutters comes with this little push down device that helps get the cut dog treats out of the cookie cutter without changing the shape too much. So now we'll just cut these dog cookie treats out and put them onto the cookie sheet. I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. And once we get these all onto the cookie sheet here, we'll get these baked. Alright, so I have 1 whole sheet of the mini bone-shaped cookies. And what I did was I took the scraps of the edges and I made some little round cookies, and then I used the smallest bone cookie cutter of the set and kind of embossed the top of each of the cookies in a little bone shape. So now the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. We'll bake these for about 20 minutes. I'll start with 10 minutes on these mini bones because they're so small that they will cook faster. So I'll check them at 10 for these and 20 minutes for the larger cookies. So let's get these in the oven. Alright, so both styles of the dog treat cookies are finished. Let's put them on the cooling rack here. These mini bones, these only took about 20 minutes. They're nice and crunchy in texture, and these are a little bit bigger, and these took 30 minutes. They're nice and golden brown, and they'll be a nice crunchy treat. Right, so let's move on to the next style of dog treats. Okay, so now for the second style of dog treats, we will be making a peanut butter dog biscuit. So these are a little bit larger size, more of a substantial treat. I'll be using a medium-sized paw-shaped cookie cutter. So let's make the dough for this. So in the bowl we have 2.5 cups of wheat flour. We'll add 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And again, if your dog has any allergies or sensitivities to wheat, just use whatever flour substitute works well for their dietary restriction. Next we will add 1 cup of peanut butter. This is a creamy style peanut butter, and just make sure there's no xylitol in there. 2 tablespoons of honey. One beaten egg. And 1 cup of water. Now we're going to mix this together. Again, I'm going to be using my Danish whisk. You can also use your KitchenAid stand mixer. And the flex edge attachment for the KitchenAid works very well for something like this. We're just going to mix this until well combined, and we will create our dough. This is a bit of a sticky dough, so have some flour on hand off to the side. So on a well-floured surface, we're going to turn this dough out onto here. And then we'll just roll this out to the thickness that we desire. You can do whatever shape you'd like. You can just cut these with a knife or a pizza cutter. I have these medium size, they're a paw shape. Round biscuits would be nice as well. So now we'll just cut the shapes out and add them to our cookie sheet. You'll want a non-stick cookie sheet or a parchment lined one. So we'll just keep cutting these biscuits out and adding them to the cookie sheet. These cookie cutters that I'm using for this project, they work very nicely. They have a little plastic sleeve on top, and it actually comes apart when you're cleaning. But it works well so that you have a nice plastic area to push down on to create the shape. So these are about 1/4 inch thick. Alright, so we have 2 pans of the paw-shaped dog biscuits. We'll put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. All right, so the dog biscuits are finished baking. They took 20 minutes at 350 degrees to reach this golden brown color we have here. So we'll let these cool on the cooling rack. We'll move on to the third dog treat style. Okay, now for the third dog treat style recipe, we will be making a peanut butter and molasses dog twist. So in each bowl we have some ingredients. In this first bowl we have 4 cups of a white flour with a half cup of cornmeal. And in this bowl we have 4 cups of a wheat flour with a half cup of cornmeal. Now each of these will have a slightly different color when the dough is completed, and that'll give the twist nice pattern and design to that when we make it. Now to each bowl we will add the rest of the ingredients. Next we will add 1 egg that's been beaten. Add that to both bowls. To the lighter flour bowl we'll add a 1/4 cup of peanut butter. This is a creamy style peanut butter, and make sure there's no xylitol in there. And to the darker batter bowl, we'll add a 1/4 cup of molasses. And then finally to each bowl, we will add 1½ cups of water. Now we'll just mix these batters up here. I'll be using my Danish whisk again. This could certainly be mixed in your KitchenAid stand mixer with the flex edge attachment beater. For the final step of kind of getting this batter together, I just get in there with my hands to get the last bits of ingredients mixed together. The molasses batter is a little more sticky because of the molasses addition. You take a little flour in your hands and then roll it, and that'll help get any dough off of your hands and put back into the bowl. Now let's get this peanut butter one mixed together a little more. This one's a much drier batter, the peanut butter. Okay, so now's the fun part. So now we're going to take a portion of each dough and we'll kind of move it between our hands to make a little strip. The size of this will depend on the size of the dog you're making the treat for, or the size of the container, an airtight container that you'll be storing them in afterwards. Now I'll take the same portion of the darker batter, the one with the molasses in it. I like using this silicone mat here. It helps to have a nice working surface when working with doughs and pie crusts and things like that. If you find it sticking, just add a little flour to the surface. Next that we're going to do is take the 2 portions and just kind of twist them. There, you have a little twist. If you want to make them a little more condensed, just roll them together. Then add this to a cookie sheet. You can also kind of roll the whole thing like so. If you want to add a treat for the holidays, just give it a little candy cane shape. Like so. I'm making kind of bigger treats. It's because our dog is a larger dog. But I will also make some smaller treats because some of the ones that we will be giving as gifts are for smaller dogs. I'll put the smaller sticks on a different cookie sheet because they will bake at a different time. Now let's keep making these. All right, so we have all of the dog treat twists formed into their shapes. So we have one pan of small sticks, one pan of medium sticks, and 2 pans of large twists. I also made a candy cane here. So as you can see, this recipe makes quite a few of the dog treat twists. So if you're planning to make a smaller batch, I would cut this recipe in half. If you're planning to make a number of twists and sticks such as I made today, and you're planning to give some away, then do the recipe quantity that I did today. Alright, so I'm going to bake these at 350 degrees. We'll start at 20 minutes and we'll see how they're looking at that point. The dog treat twists and sticks are all finished baking. Let me get the last pan out. There we go. So the small sticks here took 10 minutes to bake. The medium sticks took 20 minutes to bake. And the large sticks here took a half hour. So now I'm going to let all the treats fully cool. Then we'll come back and I'll show you how I will package them both for gifts and how I will store them for our use as well. Good girl. Good girl. Alright guys, so here we have our homemade dog treats. We did 3 different types of treats. We did peanut butter apple dog cookies. I have miniature bone-shaped ones in this mason jar and some smaller cookies in this clamp top mason jar here. And then we also have some peanut butter dog biscuits, which are paw-shaped, and I have them in this airtight container here. And then finally we made some peanut butter and molasses dog twists. And I have them in this airtight container. Then I have a mixture of all 3 in these little cellophane bags with a little bone motif ribbon. And those would be gifts for some furry family members we have. For a medium-sized dog and a smaller dog, for them to sample these homemade dog treats. And then any extras, I just put into a freezer Ziploc bag here, and these can be frozen. And they last in the freezer for about 2 to 3 months. And that helps them stay fresh until you're able to use them. You'll want to use these quickly. And as you can see from our dog Greta, she really enjoys these, so these will probably not last you very long once you start giving them to your furry friend. Well, thank you for spending time with me in the kitchen while we made these homemade dog treats, and hopefully you'll have a chance to make some homemade dog treats yourself. These make a great treat that you can give your own pet, and you control the ingredients and you know exactly what's in them, and if your dog has any certain food allergies, you can alter the type of flour used in order to follow their dietary restriction for that. And these also make a great gift. You can add to gift baskets and to give at Christmas or other times of the year for your friends and families that have pets as well. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I have some other videos on homemade items as well as recipes in the kitchen and other gift ideas, so you can check them out if you're looking for things to make homemade and give as gifts to people that you care about. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate you subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. See you next time. Take care.